welcome to this video. This is Loch Nell in Scotland, a place I've tried to visit before, but my navigation skills are somewhat interesting and basically I got lost. But regulars to the channel will know that I opted for some help this time, and to my guide I am so grateful. Not only did he get me here so that I can share this amazing place with you, but also many other monuments. I will mention the company more at the end of the video, and I'll add a link to the company in the description below. But let's get to what we're here for, and that is to see the Serpent Mound of Loch Nell. I first learnt about the Serpent Mound many years ago when I first moved close to Avebury, Avebury being the largest stone circle in Britain. William Stukeley, an English antiquarian around the 1700s. William spent many years visiting ancient monuments including Avebury Stone Circle. For those that don't know Avebury area, I'll put a link in the description below. William called Avebury a serpent temple, even drew how he saw the serpent in the landscape. His idea was that the serpent was made up of many monuments. I have covered this already in a video, so all links will be in the description below, including a video of the Rotherham ribbon known as Diarmid serpent in Hereford, found in 2008, made of fire-cracked stones, all carefully placed to form a kind of walkway dated around 2150 BC. This path can no longer be visited as it now lies under a road. The only other serpent mound that I know of is in Ohio in America. That serpent mound's exact age and purpose remains subject of debate among archaeologists and historians. It is thought to have been dated around 300 BC. The mound is shaped like a serpent with its head coiled and its body winding over 1,300 feet. It seems that Loch Nell Serpent Mound, again, we know very little. We do have a drawing of the mound drawn by C.F. Gordon Cumming. Constance Frederica Gordon Cumming was a Scottish travel writer and painter. Born in a wealthy family, she travelled the world and painted and described scenes and the life that she saw them. Her best known works are At Home at Fiji and A Lady's Cruise on a French Man of War. Miss Gordon Cumming received much criticism from male writers of the era, perhaps because she did not fit the tradition of Victorian role of women. It seems she never married and she often travelled alone and unaided. In 1883, Constance wrote a book called In the Hebrides. Because of its age, it's now out of copyright, and there are copies you can read online. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description. If it's not there, please remind me. It is in this book that she talks about the Serpent Mound, and that the site was excavated in 1871. Because the report was done back in 1871, it is somewhat brief. What was investigated is classed as a Bronze Age round barrow. It was noted as a chambered cairn, with a diameter of about 19.7 metres and a height of 1.3 metres. When found, it seems the burial mound was already disturbed and noticed as possible stone mobbing. During the excavations, it revealed a massive triangular cyst, which contained cremation deposits, a flint knife and some hazelnut shells, which is noted to be modern rather than anything to do with the burial. But that is all that is listed. There is a photo which I cannot show on the video, but I have to say it looks more like this mound rather than the Serpent Mound. This is clear it is a tomb of some kind, likely a burial chambered cairn. You can see that the capstone is exposed, but not much else remains. But that is all I can find out about the possible cairn, for I cannot find anything to know if there was even a burial found here. Back to the Serpent Mound. Because of this burial, it has been classed as a Bronze Age chambered cairn, although I think this is more of a guess of the age rather than facts, simply because there is no mention on how the mound could be aged except for the remains. But then, there is nothing to say that the mound isn't older, but the burial happened at a later date. This wouldn't be the first time this has happened, when a grave has been added to an earlier monument. Cummings wrote that little is known about the mound, and she writes a detailed description of what she saw. She talks about finding an artificial mound shaped as a serpent, that there was a circle of stones on what she called its head, which she believed corresponds with the solar cycles. She also writes that these represented on the heads of the mystic serpents of Egypt. Cummings also mentions that there was an altar at the centre of the circle, which indicates that either someone else had visited and written this, or she had been here before, if she knew there was once an altar here. Or could it have been that what she saw was in fact remains of another burial, and the spine of the serpent was some kind of causeway between the two? But what we see today is completely different. Expected after all this time, but you can still make it out and what site it is. You can clearly see more of the serpent in the mound than I first thought would be possible, something you can't see using Google Earth. Walking on top of the mound, there is the odd stones along the ridge. At first I thought this was odd, but then when I read a section in Cummings' book, I wasn't shocked. Cummings wrote the following: "It was found that the whole length of the spine was carefully constructed with regular placed stones at such an angle as to throw off the rain. With little visitors and very little excavation happening here, could these be the same old stones that Cummings saw?" The last thing I will mention about what Cummings wrote is it's clear she spoke to locals. She wrote that people in the neighbourhood have an old tradition in the remote age that this was a place of public execution. I don't know what they meant by the remote age, but an interesting little tale about the mound. But there is much more legends about the area, which I'll come back to soon. So is it possible that the area around Loch Nell can give us a clue as to what is going on here in prehistory? This standing stone is close to a burial cairn called Diarmid's grave. Tradition has it that this stone marks the burial place of the Irish hero Diarmid, but we will come back to that in a bit. There are other burial mounds in the area and a stone circle further up the loch from the Serpent mound, which is low-lying small stones compared to the standing stones of Orkney. But we haven't finished yet. Although I didn't get there on this visit, there is a skull-shaped stone. I mean, this is a huge skull-shaped stone. There are quite a lot of boulders in the area, but this is something else, and while I didn't visit it this time, I will be coming back to the area and hopefully with the drone next time. It is also reported that there are a number of hut circles and cupped marked stones, something I'll go more into in another video. So it was an area that was very busy during the prehistory era. It is possible that at some point some kind of serpent worship was happening in Scotland, depending on what people class as serpent worship. A lot of people to this day still see it as a possible bad thing, but we simply don't know. Since researching for this video, I found information that there may be another serpent mound in Scotland, but I'll need to research this some more as I'm not totally convinced. Is this serpent mound of some kind a solar alignment? That would be difficult to tell. If it was aligned to either the winter or summer solstice, I don't know. It sits roughly northeast to southwest. Is the serpent mound man-made or natural or even a mixture? It could have even been that shape and our ancestors saw it and to them made the area special. We just don't know, and we will never truly know about this fair monument unless further archaeological work is done here. I hope that one day answers will be found, but until then it will remain a mystery and of course of a great legend to go with it. Finn is a legendary figure in Ireland. He is portrayed as a great warrior and leader of a band of elite warriors in ancient Ireland. Legend says that Finn never died, but instead lies sleeping in a cave, surrounded by his warriors. When Finn's hunting horn is sounded 3 times, he will rise again. A little odd that such a legend of a great Irish giant be lying in wait within Scotland. But then a great story to explain the Serpent Mound, although Scotland has many of its own legends of giants. What about the Diarmid's grave? Although I should add here that this isn't the only place in Scotland called Diarmid's grave. This story is a sad love story, and it goes: Grania was the most beautiful woman in Ireland. She was also the daughter of the High King of Ireland. She was courted by the now aging Chief Finn, the guy who was meant to be buried at the Serpent Mound. He wanted the young maid as his second wife. He asked her to marry him, and she agreed. A great feast was set up to celebrate the newly engaged couple. But that night she met Diarmid, who was one of Finn's best warriors. And it was love at first sight. Our young lady was prepared to go to any lengths to get her man, and at first Diarmid backed off, as he was loyal to his leader. But our young lady wasn't taking no for an answer, and the pair soon fell in love. The two ran off together, but were pursued by an angry Finn and his men. All across Ireland the eloping couple ran, and all across Ireland there were caves and trees, all kinds of nooks and crannies, under or inside which, loyal legend has it, that the couple lay together and hid. After long years on the run, our young lady fell pregnant, but fate was about to catch up with them. One day, out in the wilderness, with Finn and his men closing in, the couple came across a giant boar. The boar charged at the couple. Diarmid wrestled the boar to the ground, but the boar had fatally wounded our hero, and soon our hero passed away. Someone must have sat here, perhaps at the mound itself, and thought what a great tale for this stunning place. Either way, this tale adds to an air of mystery and magic to this area. So there is a lot to take in about this area, plenty of monuments and legends to go with it. As standing there by the edge of the loch, you can see how legends of giants came about, and if you were buried anywhere, here to me would be the perfect spot. So the mystery of this mound still remains, but for me it is a place I will hold very dear to my heart. I cannot thank my guide enough for helping me find this location and many others on this trip. The tour company I used is called Tartan Vikings. They do bespoke tours and group tours. This trip to the Serpent Mound and other places was a bespoke tour, of which I would highly recommend if you want something different. From the moment of booking, the planning of the tour itself was a smooth and great experience. I also did 2 of their group tours. Videos of these will come at a later date, but again, perfect trips. Now as a whole, I don't recommend companies, but that's not what this channel is about. But on this occasion, I feel that if you find a company like this, then you should share. I will put a link in the description below. So a big thank you to you guys. You guys are amazing, and yes, I have a new list of locations which hopefully I'll be coming up to next year. With that, I would also like to say a really big thank you to the viewers and the subscribers of the channel, to the Patreons and to those who have bought me a coffee. This channel wouldn't be the same without you. Your support has made it all worthwhile, and I'm grateful beyond words. So if you're new here, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more contents like this. Also, click that notification bell so you never miss an update. Until the next time, stay safe.